Everyone, my name is Shay Shmeltzer. I'm Director of Product Management for the Oracle Cloud Development Tools. And welcome to today's seminar. Today, we're going to talk about a guide to developing Oracle SaaS extension. We're going to cover several scenarios that require you to create extensions. And we're going to also talk about the tool that would allow you to create those extensions very easily. And we're also going to see a demo of how extensions can be developed. So let's get started. First of all, let's talk about Oracle Fusion Cloud Application. That's the set of applications we are going to extend. So for those of you who are not familiar, the Oracle Fusion Cloud Application is a complete set of enterprise applications that run a lot of big businesses around the world. They cover all the requirements of your backend systems, everything from human capital management to enterprise resource planning, sales and services, and even more than that. Okay? With those modules, you're able to run your business. Now, if you're currently using Oracle Fusion applications, you probably noticed that in the latest versions, we started to introduce some applications that look and behave even more nicely than the previous generation. Those are what we call the Redwood set of applications. This is the new design experience and user experience for our cloud applications. And we've been building them over the last couple of years using a development platform called Visual Builder. And what we're going to talk about today is how you can leverage the same development platform, Visual Builder, to create extensions for those Oracle cloud applications. So if you're not familiar with Oracle Visual Builder, as the name suggests, provide a visual development environment for building enterprise applications. It allows you very easily to construct and build applications, focusing on a more visual and declarative approach for building those applications. And that's the development tool that we're using to build the applications that we deliver. You can also use Visual Builder to build applications that you want. It's the same tool that we offer to our customers. And one of the key aspects here is that Visual Builder is also the tool that you're going to use to extend applications that we deliver. So when would you need to do extensions? So again, we provide a lot of functionality out of the box, but there's always things that are unique to your business. So our applications try to cover the gamut in terms of the needs of businesses, but there's always going to be something that is specific to your business needs, where you might need to do some customization, some extensions. So that might be taking some pages that Oracle deliver and maybe hiding some of the fields that are not relevant to you, or even complete areas that you want to place in another position. Maybe there are some additional fields that you need to display on one of those pages in order to enable your employees to correctly execute their tasks. There might also be unique business requirements that you have. So some unique business flows that your company is doing that are not covered by the Oracle Cloud applications because we build a more generic solution. So in those cases where you have a unique business functionality, you might want to build this little application that allows you to address this business functionality and embed it into the Oracle Cloud applications. In some other cases, you might want to create a more customized user experience. So we create a lot of very innovative user interfaces, but you might have a different idea about how you want to show some data. Maybe your employees have a different way that they want to look at data. Maybe there's data that they need to get from multiple pages into a single page. And when you need to create those customized user experiences, this is another case where you might want to build an extension. Then there's another situation where you need to expose data from Oracle SaaS, not necessarily to SaaS users, but outside of Oracle SaaS in separate applications. As an example, maybe you have a product catalog that is part of Oracle SaaS where we track all your products, but you also want to expose it on your website for your customers to be able to browse them. Okay. The last scenario is situations where you need to mesh up data from the Oracle Cloud applications with data from external systems. That might be some, again, third-party off-the-shelf systems, and it might be in-company applications that you develop that you want to integrate the data from them with data from Oracle SaaS. And maybe there's even new data objects that you want to track, and you need to create those. And again, in those cases, you can create extensions to Oracle SaaS that mesh up those data, create unique user interfaces, specific business flows, and have those available for your business users. So we're going to break those extension scenarios into 3 levels of extending the applications. The first one is what we refer to as extending existing pages. So Oracle delivers the applications to you. It is constructed from multiple pages, web pages, and you might want to modify one of the pages that Oracle delivered. So that would be the first scenario. The second scenario is a scenario where you want to add additional pages, additional little applications or modules into the overall Oracle Cloud Apps. So you're going to access data from Oracle Cloud Apps, and you're going to have the user interface be part of the Oracle application menu and interface. And the third scenario is a scenario where you want to create bespoke new applications. So applications that address specific business needs might not need to be specifically part of Oracle Cloud Application overall menuing system, might need to access external data sources, and might need to be accessed by external customers. So those are the 3 levels of extensions that you might want to think about. And let's talk about each one of them in more details and show you how to create those. So we'll start with the scenario of customizing an existing page. So again, Oracle delivers a page as part of our application. You might want to modify. So to do that, from inside Oracle Cloud Application, you would have a menu option that would allow you to edit this page in Visual Builder. And once you choose this option, the page would open inside Visual Builder and would allow you to modify the page based on what the teams have set up as customizable in the page. This might be things like moving fields around, hiding and showing areas of the page, adding calculated fields, modifying the way that the field is being displayed, and maybe adding new content to your page. And again, this would be very easily done with a visual interface, and the level of knowledge you need in order to do that is very easy. It's aimed at the business user. So you don't need to be an expert developer to do this. We give you a declarative interface to select which fields to show, how to show them, and it's very easy for you to customize the pages that we delivered out of the box. The next level of customization is when you want to create new pages. So those will be your own pages, your own applications. It can be multiple pages with flows between them. And into those pages, you want to add data from Oracle SaaS to show it in various ways. To do that, you're going to invoke Visual Builder from inside Oracle SaaS. It's going to allow you to leverage the same UI templates that Oracle SaaS is using, the Redwood UI template. So your pages are going to look like the pages delivered by Oracle. You're going to very easily be able to access data from Oracle SaaS, basically accessing the set of data objects that they expose for you to include in your pages. And then the application that you create is integrated into the same menuing system in Oracle SaaS. You log into it with the same user, same authentication and authorization that you use for the rest of Oracle SaaS. And it's basically a seamless experience. Your module is going to show up like any other module in Oracle SaaS. So let's see a demo of those 2 things live done in our Oracle SaaS instance. So I'm going to switch over here to a window where I have Oracle SaaS. Okay. And the first thing I'm going to show you is that in the main menu of Oracle SaaS, there's a section called Configuration. And one of the tools under Configuration is called Visual Builder. So you can actually invoke Visual Builder as a configuration tool for your Oracle SaaS. Now, inside Oracle SaaS, we have a lot of modules. I'm going to look into the journey modules, which is part of our human capital management system. And this is a place where we can, for example, track the tasks that we assign to employees. So this is the interface that Oracle built for it. You can see it's very nice, very intuitive. There's a search at the top. It's all about the Redwood experience. But if I want to modify this UI, I can actually do this. For example, maybe I want to get rid of this icon over here. So to do this, while inside Oracle SaaS, from the menu, I can choose to edit this page in Visual Builder. This would take the context I was working in, so it would know which page I was on, it would know which data I was seeing, and using the same user that is using Oracle SaaS, I'm logging into Visual Builder, which is our development environment. And what you're going to see now is the same page displayed in Visual Builder in our visual editor with the same data. Now, on the right side, you can see the structure of the page, and you can also select areas on the page just by clicking on them. Okay, so for example, I select this line of the table, and I want to customize how things look here. So I can open the rule set editor, and I can modify the default layout. So this is the default layout that Oracle provided. I can create my own version. For example, I can create the no icon version by duplicating what Oracle provided to me. Now I can have a condition. For example, I can say that I'm only customizing this for specific roles. So if my employee is, for example, a manager, I want to show a specific set of fields. Or I can also do this as a generic customization for everyone, which is what I'm going to do here. And now I'm going to customize the no icon UI by selecting which fields to show. So for example, if I don't want to show the icon over here, I can just remove it. If I want to add another field somewhere in my user interface, like the status field, I can add the field, and I can also reposition the field to place it in other locations. I can also modify the template of the fields. I can add calculated fields and do a lot of other operations. Let's just remove the icon and show you that once I do this, the user interface is now not going to have an icon. And I'm ready to actually publish my changes. I can click on publish and implement those changes in my instance of Oracle SaaS. So again, I showed you here a very basic customization capability, but you can see how easy it is to go directly from Oracle SaaS into the visual editor and modify your UI. Now, the next level of customization is done from the same tool. So far I worked on a specific workspace that deals with the application that Oracle provided. But I can also go over and create a new workspace that would be an application extension. Okay? So let's create, for example, an employee search module. Okay, Oracle already has one, but let's create our own version of it. We're mapping to the Oracle SaaS environment. We can rely on existing modules in Oracle SaaS if we need data from existing modules, or I can just create a new Scratch application, basically starting from scratch without any resources pre-populated, and I'm going to use that module to build my own interface. So what we want to build in this new interface is a little page that would allow me to search across my set of employees and then look at various pieces of information about each one of those employees. Okay. So to do that, I'm going to create what we call a new app UI. We'll call this one, for example, Emp Search. Okay. And this would create a default UI for me with a single page. I can add multiple pages if I want. And you can see the top menu looks exactly like the menu that we have in Oracle SaaS. And over on the left side, I also have access to all the Redwood components that Oracle is using to construct the Oracle UI. Okay. And for example, I can pick up from the Redwood page template a specific page template to use on this page. Let's take the welcome page and drop it over here. The welcome page template has a bunch of properties. One of them is the title. So we can call it Emp Search, for example. And it would show up here. I can also provide a description. Search our employees. Okay, and it would show up here. Now, our template has various areas on it where I can put in various UI components. For example, if I need a search component, okay, I can pick up an input search, drop it on the page in the search slot, and this would give me a location where I can search for employees. Okay. I can add suggestions about which values to show here, for example, the most common employee names or things like that. I can also just tie this into a variable, which is what I'm going to do here. And we'll call this one my search string. So this is a variable that we have here. And the next thing is I want to actually show the list of employees down here in this area. To do that, I'm going to need to go to my services connection and create a connection to a service from our catalog. Now, note that I can also create a connection to external services, but in our case, I'm interested in actually data from Oracle SaaS. So it can be from the ERP or supply chain management. It can be from the human capital management, which is what I'm going to do, or the sales and services. So let's use the human capital management. We can see all the business objects that are exposed here, and it's a lot of information that we have in our HCM system. I'm specifically interested in the employee object, so let's just select this one and click create. Okay. Now that I have this business object mapped, I can use my data tab over here to expand and see the employee business object and just drag and drop it into my template. Okay. Let's drop it at the default area, which is this area over here, and we'll drop it as a table. So we're going to see a table of the list of employees that we have. We can decide which information we want to show. For example, let's show the name of the employee, maybe which country and which city they are in. Okay. We also want to have our primary ID, which is the person ID over here. And we also want to be able to filter our list of employees based on a condition. So let's add a condition here. Basically, we'll ask whether the display name contain whatever we put in the search string. So again, as you can see, very declarative way to define queries on our data, and just drop it on the page. It would go over to Oracle SaaS, fetch the information, and show me the list of employees. By the way, I can switch here to live mode, and I can now search. I can, for example, look up traces and see all the traces in our organization. So as you can see, very easy to build this type of user interface. And that's not all. You can build a lot more than just looking at data. You can also create quick starts, use quick starts to add data or edit data information. Let's add, for example, a detail page. So this would be a page where we'll see a little bit more information about our employees. Maybe, again, we'll pick the display name. Maybe we'll get some other information. Maybe we can actually see the first name, the gender, the ethnicity. Not all those pieces of information are going to be there. Any honors that they have. Let's also see information about the address. So we'll pick up the address, the city, and the country information over here. Okay. All of those are being added to a details page. And to get to this detail page, I can simply go over here, click on an employee, and click on the button. Now, there are other ways. Maybe this is not the way I want to do my navigation. Maybe I don't want this button. I want to be able to directly click on one of those records and navigate to the edit page. So we have a selection event on the table. It's already defined. We can just add an operation here to navigate to the edit page. Now again, what you're seeing here is how we build business logic in our application. How do I add a navigation? How do I map variables? One variable, which is the input variable, to the page. And this is all I need to do. And again, this is done in a visual way rather than having to code everything. Now, behind the scene, there is code, but the development is very visual. So now I can, for example, click on Tracy, which would take me into the page where I can see Tracy's information, and I can update this information. And again, if I don't like the look of this page, I can use the nice Redwood templates to make this look a little better. For example, Redwood has this concept of folding layout. Let's pick up a horizontal folder layout template, and we'll place it on our page. Okay? And this basically has areas that are folding out as you show the page. I can now take my form layout and bring it, for example, into the first area. So it would show up here. Maybe I want to also split the data so some data shows on the second part. So I can pick up, again, a form layout. Let's pick up this form layout and place it in the second panel over here. And then pick up some of the fields that we have over here and drop those into this second form layout. So now they are over here. By the way, on the form layout, I can decide at the form level where are the labels going to show up. Let's put them at the start so it looks the same. And of course, you can then change the titles for everything over here. So for example, for the title here, we're going to call this one AMP Info. Okay, and you can see it changing over here. We can then change the title for each one of those sections over here. So this would be some basic info, and maybe this would be the address. And there you go. We have our full application. At this point, I can go back to my main page. I can click on the Run button and actually have my application run outside, see how it behaves. And I just built in 5 minutes a full module that is going to be integrated into Oracle SaaS. I can now go over, search, for example, for Mike, find a bunch of people who are called Mike, find a specific person that is interesting me, click on it, get the full information about Mike over here, including the address. And this is all integrated into Oracle SaaS. If I click over here on the menu, I would just go back into my Oracle SaaS environment, and I will be able to continue working with other modules. So this was a quick demonstration of how easy it is to go over and use Visual Builder to build those extensions to Oracle SaaS. And some of the points to make here is the same look and feel, very easy access to Oracle SaaS data. By the way, I'm only seeing the data that I'm authorized to see, okay, because I'm using the same user that is logging into my modules as the one that is logging into Oracle SaaS. So authorization is also applied over here. Now, what you saw up until now are things that are already included in Oracle SaaS. This comes built into Oracle SaaS. You saw it in the menu, and it's actually part of your license. You'll be able to build those modules without having to purchase any additional components from the Oracle ecosystem. But in some cases, you want to go beyond that. You want to create your own bespoke applications that are running outside of Oracle SaaS. Maybe they do access Oracle SaaS data, but they might be accessed by external customers. They might be accessing external systems as well. And in those cases, you can leverage the same development platform, same development tool, Visual Builder and Visual Builder Studio, to build those applications. What you get then, beyond just the visual development environment, is you're getting a managed service that hosts your additional application. So it's very easy not just to build the application, but also to publish it as a separate application that people can access. In this managed service, we're not just hosting your web application, we also host a database for you. And inside this database, you can create additional business objects that store the information that is relevant to your system. So if you have some custom business objects that you need to create, you can very easily define them, store them in an Oracle database in the cloud that is part of this managed platform, and create UIs on top of them. In addition, this managed platform also has a REST proxy that allows you to access REST services from external systems. REST is the most common way today to communicate between systems. It's an industry standard, and we allow you to access REST-based services from any place using all sorts of authentication mechanisms, ranging from basic to OAuth to a bunch of other ways that you can authenticate and access those in a secure way. This allows you, again, to create applications that mesh up information from multiple systems in a single user interface. Once you develop the application, you can publish it. The application can be published as a regular web app or as a progressive web app that is targeting mobile devices, giving a mobile native experience for the end user where they have an icon on the device. They can invoke the application and interact with it, even work with device capabilities like the camera location and things like that. And it can also allow external customers to access the application and work with it. You can define your own security roles, your own users that are mapped to those roles, and control who can do what in your system. All of this is available in Visual Builder, the runtime platform. The development still going to be done in the same way you just saw from Visual Builder Studio, directly from inside Oracle SaaS. Okay, so still the same declarative approach. So what are the key benefits of using Visual Builder specifically as the tool for extending Oracle Cloud applications? So the first thing is that it's built in, right? So the whole Visual Builder Studio is already built into Oracle Fusion Cloud Apps. You don't need to install anything else. You don't need to provision additional services. It's already there. You just need to turn on access rights to specific users, and they'll be able to go in and start developing. Second thing is that you do get the same Redwood experience, okay? Same UI interfaces, same best practices that we implement for our own application, you can implement too in your application. Okay. This is based on years of studying of user interactions, of customer studies, and of innovative UI designs that we've developed in Oracle, and you can just leverage it out of the box for your own systems. You get templates, you get patterns, you get components, and you get the same look and feel. Then the next thing is the very easy access to the service catalog. You saw how easy it was for me to go over, look up all the business objects in Oracle HCM, ERP, CX, SCM, and just pick up the objects that I want to show on a page and use it. This is built into our Visual Builder. We are aware of all those business objects, and we know how to work with them in a smart way and efficient way. Not only can we work with the built-in business objects, in Oracle Cloud Application, you can also create your own custom business objects. You can use App Composer to define your own business objects that store your own data in Oracle SaaS. Now, the nice thing is that Visual Builder can work with those custom business objects as well. We can pick up their endpoint and work with them, and we know again how to work with them in a smart way. So for both services and custom objects, we know how to do query by example. You actually saw it when I did the search on employees. We know how to fetch data using pagination, so work smartly with fetching information, how to do sorting, how to manage relationship. All of those things are built into Visual Builder. We already know how to do this against all those business objects. The next step in why Visual Builder is the whole security aspect. The fact that we're using single sign-on allows you to have a seamless experience between your custom app and the Oracle SaaS app. It allows you to impose the same authentication and, more importantly, authorization rules on who is allowed to see and access and update which part of your data. You all define this in a central place across Oracle SaaS, and it applies also to Oracle Visual Builder. And then at the end of the day, it's a one-click deploy. Once you're happy with the application you built, you just click the Publish button at the top. We have a whole CI/CD system automating things behind the scene, taking your application, deploying it on our platform, and giving access to the customers directly. So in minutes, you can have a published application created, deployed, and available for your end users. So this is basically it. This is Oracle Visual Builder. It's that tool for building Oracle extensions. It's not just a tool, it's a whole platform that we give you to create those Oracle Cloud Application extensions. It allows you to take existing pages and customize them, extend with your own module, and innovate with your own bespoke applications. It gives you a very productive visual development experience, a lot of drag and drop, wizard properties, and easy development approach, which makes your developers deliver faster results to the end users. And it's an integrated platform. You don't need to worry about picking up pieces and tying them together. You get something that out of the box is set up to work correctly. So if you like what you saw today, please check out Visual Builder. We have tutorials, we have documentations, and we have videos that would teach you how to use the tool and successfully build your next Oracle Cloud Application extensions. Thank you very much for attending today's seminar, and we'll hope to see you in other sessions. Have a great day.